Welcome to social psychology. I have to warn you, this chapter can be pretty upsetting. In fact, I hated social psychology for so long that I didn't teach it for a while. Because basically everything that I teach you is pretty ugly. So be ready. This particular module can be somewhat upsetting. I'm going to show you a lot of things that may make you feel uncomfortable. With that said, let's take a look at it. Well, maybe some of you are saying, well, Amy, if it's going to make us so uncomfortable, then why are you teaching it? Well, like I said, I didn't teach it for a while, but then I realized, you know what, social psychology is so powerful that it should be taught. So, there's your preparation. Let's see what social psychology is. The scientific study of how we think about, influence, and relate to one another. So we're going to see kind of the ugly truths of how we humans influence one another. Let's go. So the first thing is we tend to engage in this process called person perception. Is we figure out a lot of information about people just by what they look like. So they say you don't judge a book by its cover, but unfortunately we all do. So if you could, I hope you have your notes out right now, and I hope you could number your notes from 1 to 17. And I'm going to pop up some pictures here, and I want you to just write down the first thing that pops into your head when you're looking at these, kind of the things that come into your mind. Okay, so hopefully you were able to take a look at those pictures, and hopefully you were able to maybe write a couple things down, or at least notice what off in your head. Is what we found is there's basically four basic things that we take a look at when we start categorizing people. So let's see what they are. The first one is gender. Is we start to put people in categories by their gender. If they're male versus female, we make different assumptions or attributions about them. The next one is race. I have a video link here, but I've decided to move it to a different part, so I didn't erase the video off this slide. But we tend to judge people by the race. And maybe some of you say, no, 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 I don't. Well, I have a test for you guys to take to see, to check out, are you biased towards race? Another one that we take a look at is age, is we put people in different categories according to how old or young they are. I'm sure maybe some of you maybe have experienced that at some time in your life. I can remember times when people wouldn't take me seriously because I was young. And what's nice now is that I'm older, that when I make a statement, people tend to listen. And I would guess that's going to continue until I would guess around 65 or 70. And then when I start to make statements, then probably people will just say, oh, just an old woman doesn't, we can't pay attention to her. She's getting senile or something like that. So it's kind of a sad thing. It seems like we have a window from about 25 to maybe 65, 70, and then after, before those windows we're not taken seriously, and after the window we're not taken seriously. Okay, so if you look at those three things, you say, well, gosh, people judge you by things you can't really change. Well, there's one that you can change. So the only thing that you kind of have control over with regard to the categories that people put you in is your clothes. Your clothes, your hairstyle. I'm putting that clothes, makeup, hairstyle. I should have probably put style more than clothes. Is people take one look at that and they categorize you instantaneously. So those of you, if anybody in here has dreadlocks and you say, well, I don't want them to see me as a very laid back type of person, then you'd have to wear like really high class suits to kind of balance that off. I think a lot of us know that, but this is what people judge us on, is what we look like. Now, to add insult to injury, if you go back and look at your comments that you wrote on numbers 1 through 17, I can tell you that let me tell you the things that my class, when I show them these pictures, let me tell you some stuff that they would tell me from looking at those pictures. They would tell me not just these kind of things, what their gender, race, age, clothes were. They would tell me where they worked, they would tell me if they had done drugs or not, what their sexual orientation was, whether or not they were happy, whether or not they could be trusted, what their political party was. I mean, they take one look at these people, and then we make lots of assumptions. And I'm sure that some of you, maybe your first reaction was, they look happy or sad. But then if I left it up there, you might have gone into a little bit more background about them, more assumptions about them. So when we take a look at people, we tend to categorize them. And so we categorize them by these things, but then check this out. Halo effect. We perceive attractive people to be healthier, happier, more sensitive, more successful, and more socially skilled. Also, attractive, well-dressed people are more likely to make a favorable impression on potential employers and to enjoy occupational success. So this is kind of sad. We get judged immediately by what we look like, and then if we're attractive, then we're going to get judged better than if we're not attractive. So here, what I'd like you to do is, this has probably been a little bit upsetting for you guys to listen to. So I'd like you to check out your own prejudice. I have the link right underneath this one. So when you went to the module, you click on this link first, and then I'd like you to go take this prejudice test and see, are you have prejudice? So what you do is you go to demonstration test, you read the info, and if you agree, click on the terms I wish to proceed, and then choose race, age, or weight. What these tests are designed to do is to check your unconscious feelings regarding race, age, weight.